Supervisor Vastola,
Present.
Councilman O'Connor is absent. Councilman Stat,
Here.
Councilman Grunwell,
Here.
Councilwoman Crowley.
Present.
Tonight, I'd like to have a salute to the flag by David Macaluso from the Hemlock Fire Department, and then after that, a moment of silence in honor of 9/11. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all. Thank you. It was a tough day. I spent many hours in the World Trade Center for many, many years. Motion for approval of the August 14th minutes, please.
I will make that motion.
And a second.
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
That carries. Thank you.
So
Motion,
can I notice one potential modification?
you may.
Okay, on page 5, resolution number 46. Is that to set the public hearing? Because the resolution was tabled. So I was confused as to what number 4 is. Eileen, can you help me?
What does it say?
It's a public, we're setting a date and time for the public hearing.
Okay.
That's what
so
that
it's-
is.
So it's not.
Correct.
The resolution.
Correct.
Beautiful.
Good,
Okay.
good question.
Well, it's a resolution, but it's to set the public hearing.
Which
okay.
is coming up.
Thank you.
It's longer. Are you talking about the one for the short-term rental?
Yes.
It's longer than usual because it was written by our attorney and she put the language for her proposals in there.
I gave them what's gonna look like the sample resolution, but it's not written yet because Ted was still gonna give us some feedback, because we got an email Friday night on this.
That was a fun.
Mhm.
Right, just making sure, but we didn't get any feedback from you that you're okay with what she wrote.
Oh, I gave
That
her
was
all that.
part of the hearing. Okay, just making sure you're good with it. Okay,
Thank you.
so we'll be getting to
I can
that.
comment on it.
All right. So,
We're good with the minutes.
excellent, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to have the public hearing open for fire protection control contracts for fiscal year 2024.
Motion
Second.
to open the public hearing.
Okay, I'll second it. So, Mr. Macaluso, do you have anything you want to give to us?
The Hemlock Fire Department's been very supportive of the community up here with the contract district. We are in a growing phase. We have taken on several new members within the last month. With that, we are also planning future purchase of replacement apparatus. So any additions that you could make to the contract with the Hemlock Fire Department would be greatly appreciated. The restructuring of the district, you want me to continue with that?
Yeah, because we're anxious to see those lines get redrawn, and we've been talking about it. This would be a great year to see that happen.
Having discussed it with, I'm the first assistant chief, having discussed it with the chief and our other officers and our board. We have developed maps. They've been ready for approximately a year. We have not been able to really coordinate anything and set it in stone with Richmond Hungary Fire Department. But we are ready to move on that. So at any time you would like us to come and present that to you, we can do that at a later date, but we are ready.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Love to see that happen. Any comment from Richmond? This time, we did get a nice letter, similar to last time.
No, it's a little bit better.
What's that?
It's a little bit.
It's much, yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes, it was.
Okay. Okay, any other comments on the fire protection district? Motion to close the public hearing?
Well, before you do that, there's nobody here from the Richmond Fire District.
Does not appear that way.
Well, he's not really. Nope. I get in trouble with every year, so he's not really. So there's nobody, so my question is this is almost a 10% increase. I'll look at Chris when I say this. I would like to see,
Yes, we do have.
I
a
would like,
budget
to- I
workshop
would
coming
like
up.
to see sort of a 5-year, this is equipment, this is operating, I mean, I would like to see some sort of high level budget trend. Cause maybe this makes perfectly, maybe this is very justifiable, but I can't tell from
Okay.
this.
You're more than welcome to write a letter. Would you be happy to do that?
I could do that, but I'm
Excellent.
just saying.
Yeah.
This is,
I agree.
So the letter's not accurate, okay, cause I looked at this. The increase is 5.76. The, $17,000 is based on the FY 22 budget, not the FY 23 budget. So the FY 23 budget was, that we paid, that we approved and paid, was $184,099. And so from there to.
well, that's,
194 is
that cuts the
10.6.
increase in half.
Correct. But I agree with you, we have asked for detail in the past, and we should ask for it again,
I agree 100%.
that's reasonable.
I got it.
But like I say, they've got to proof their letters a little better.
And Terry, could that be your action item?
Yeah,
Since you brought it up,
yeah,
that'd be great.
yeah.
Thank you.
I'll send it to you for your signature.
That'd be great. No, that's fine. That's fine. But if you draft it, I'll put it on letterhead.
I said I will draft it,
Okay,
and then
sounds
we'll
good.
send it to you for your signature.
Thank you. And thanks for bringing it up. I appreciate that. And motion, I'm making a motion to close the public hearing for the fire protection contracts.
Second,
All right. Those in favor?
Aye.
All right, that carries. Joe, I have a copy of what Sheila sent. This is the actually resolution. Ted, you said you got a copy?
I gave Joe a copy.
Okay, so did I.
2 copies.
Excellent. So I'm making a motion to open the public hearing for the short-term rental law.
I'll second it.
All right. Those in favor?
Aye.
Of course, we don't need that for public hearing. And the public hearing is open. Any comments about the new package that Sheila sent? The actual verbiage?
Comment on
Well, that's what that's what the public hearing's for. Yep.
the last meeting, you had asked me to
Yep.
speak to the attorney.
Yep.
Done that. We came to an agreement on wording change. The planning board met, happened to meet since then, and so planning board looked at it. Approved the revision. Basically, it's the same as the initial one, other than we expanded the coverage. Rather than the section of the chapter to the chapter. That includes all of the provisions, all of the provisions of the chapter. One of which already states that it's fully, that permit is required. So we didn't have to put that in section 8 of the chapter. And so we then incorporated all of the changes on penalties and violations that folks have already looked at. And so, worked with Sheila back and forth several times, got the wording correct, and that's what's been submitted. So our planning board has approved it. I talked with Kate, she approved it as well, so.
Excellent. Love to hear that. I'm glad it worked out like it did. Any other comments on the short-term rental law, which will go into
yeah,
effect?
I
after
just
this
have I just want to emphasize for everybody, but particularly Ted. So hopefully you have a planning board member that's monitoring this space because it's evolving very rapidly. Yeah, short-term rental, it's changing very rapidly. I'll give you an example. Last week, New York City passed a short-term rental law. Maybe you're aware of this. Any rental less than 30 days, besides registering with the city, the owner of the unit has to be present, cannot rent it to more than 2 people, and I could go on. So I'm not saying that's at all reasonable for our context, but I can see this changing, this landscape is changing rapidly. I just wanted to raise that as it's something we're gonna have to watch, I guess, monitor.
And we're relying on Joe, you know, he sees needed improvements to do nose up as well. Comfortable with what we have.
But that's quite onerous. I mean, basically,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I could go on. It's like the owner of the condo has to be present.
Physically,
The doors have to be unlocked. The two renters have to have free access to the condo. None of this makes sense in our situation, but it is changing.
I'm sure it's, so is it all five boroughs? Is it Manhattan? You say New York City is important.
I do not know.
It said, the law said New York City.
So that's all five boroughs.
And it's for, right, but it's for short-term rentals where the owner and the occupant share the space.
Ah.
It's actually kind of creepy. For something a little closer to home, when I was talking to, Dan Marshall, one of the other things that they're doing down in South Bristol is for new builds. You cannot convert it to a short-term rental until 2 years have passed. So I thought you should know that.
That's interesting. Can't go through specifically for that.
Well, anyway, I expect it to rapidly change. That's all. It's something we're just gonna have to monitor.
Thank you. So are we closing the public hearing? Did we close it?
I make a motion to close. public
I'll
hearing.
second it. Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Privilege of the floor, harassment training was completed in August. Some still need to take it. And those of you that participated, thank you very much. Very helpful. NYMER is very pleased to see the participation rate. I went to the FEMA floodplain study project in-person meeting, if you will, at the open house, and it was well attended. The information's out there. It's all very preliminary. Supervisor Marshall and I had a second meeting to follow up with that. The implications on the lake owners are very vast. However, the modeling was not great. The modeling was such that they did not take into account the design of the 20A bridge on Main Street. And they also didn't take into account the work that was done south of Mueller, the mitigating the inflow and the inlet. So those, I was like, wow, really? And it's just fascinating to see the people in the room with not a lot of experience that were involved with some pretty big decision making. So stay tuned on that. Candidates will likely protest with the town of Richmond. That will slow it down a little. All the information's out there and feel free to participate. We would love to see folks participate. Indeed. Well, no, I'm just looking at, I'm looking everywhere. I'm looking at, we like participation. Okay, and Terry did step up when I asked him to take the project forward, and I do have the floodplain maps anytime you want them. They're all available. Lots of information. Thank you. And that's it on that. Janelle's here. Would you like to speak on library? Thank you for the next proposal. We did meet prior to this meeting, and again, the library has been very forthcoming and a great partner for our community.
And let me know if you want a letter for us to that be up in that first thing. If we will write something that you would use our support.
And that would help me as well. I'm sure you got one to Supervisor Marshall, but just so I have that in my hands for whenever I'm at a meeting, that would be great. That'd be great.
If
I'm
everyone-
sorry, can I interrupt for just a second? Is that microphone on that's on the chair?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
No, it is.
Yeah, it was on.
They time out. Yeah.
Janelle Stucca from the Honeywell Public Library, and I just wanted to say thank you once again for supporting us last year, and I ask that you do it again. Our numbers across the board have been up as far as our circulations, people coming in the building, utilizing our other resources, because we're a lot more than just books. We offer a lot of tech support as well as functioning internet and Wi-Fi services, and we offer a lot of, we have CPR training and first aid training, and we have defensive driving classes, as well as tons of stuff for the kids. But we're also just a place that is regularly open, that is AC'd and heated, and a place that people can come and converse. But we really are lacking that in Honeywell. Like you were talking, Mill Creek has closed. And so we are lacking a public space for people to meet, and we're trying to become that more and more, which includes us opening more hours, which we increased 2 hours this year, which has helped in our numbers. But every year we'd like to increase more and more. But you, like I said, you have the list of everything that I wanted to boast about, but if you have any questions about our long-term goals or anything like that, I'd love to answer those questions for you.
Once again, we did meet prior at two board members, board of trustees, I believe.
Yes.
And Janelle and I met and very forthcoming and lots of good information. They're great assets to our community. So I fully support what you presented. Any questions? Feel free to stop down the library.
Well,
It's great.
Janelle, thanks for including the 3 years of financial history here.
That was all him. He asked me for that last year, so I make sure that I do that every
Well, I
year.
just wanted to get that in there.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
I'm glad you.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
like-
For a lot of years and never
Yes.
got it.
Yeah,
I put the hammer down. Oh, Sorry.
it's not hard. And it is very forthcoming as to.
It helps. And you can see the modest increase as well, which helps. Yep.
So just out of curiosity, I mean, I'm fine with your, but just out of curiosity, are you seeing an impact from the internet age, like Kindle books versus regular hardcover book? I mean, are you seeing, I don't see that in here. Maybe it's in here and I don't see it. In terms of the number of books you check out per year,
Yeah,
whatever.
we have our own collection of online books. The OWL system does, and that goes out on your library card the same way that a regular hardcover book would. So we still see those circulations, and wouldn't you rather have a free online book than a
Yeah.
12 or 15 for a Kindle version? Yeah, you can keep the Kindle version, but yeah, we check out books all the time, whether they be audio or ones that you read on your Kindle, and we have all those reports. I don't know if it's on annual reports, but I can definitely let you know.
No, I'm just curious. It's not something I need to know. I'm just curious.
Good question.
Yeah, on the third bubble down, it says we added 4,800 new digital
Yeah, both, Ted.
audiobooks.
Grab both.
Oh, did it die?
Yeah.
But I didn't specifically put on here how many were circulation.
So someone can just check out the digital book and read it,
Yes.
then somebody else checks
It's
it out
reviewed and everything the same way.
Yeah,
you would
without
do it.
having to buy it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
Sure.
Anything else? Okay, communications, self-explanatory, many emails. And you can see straightforward, I did include something different, was the CPI index and the COLA data for our budget workshop, so we're ready. Once we have our budget workshop next meeting,
Chris,
yes,
any other requests for privilege of the floor?
well, sure, yes, request for privilege of the floors at that time, yes, I didn't know if you were gonna wait. Christie?
Yeah.
You could introduce yourself, sure.
My name is Christy Wright, I'm one of the residents here. And I'm just asking the privilege of understanding what status is, that as a known was an issue. That the legal action that took place and Judge Dorn had found it that my,
Very much in our favor, Tom's favor, in your favor, yep.
and so, and just the time frame. I figured it must be up for him to file. a complaint.
Yeah, so we're gonna have an executive session tonight after the meeting to talk about it, so there's certain things we can and can't do. But what I can tell you is that the Casanova did appeal because his attorney just appealed, but he also called and wanted to know what we're gonna do, but I wanted to speak with my board before we do anything like that. And that's what's gonna happen tonight.
The input from you is what would make you happy.
I'm sorry, who's speaking?
Christie is. Yeah, speak up.
Absolutely can hear you.
Or like towards that mic, you can even hold the mic.
Pass the mic.
Now, I personally, this has been a nightmare for me. It's been very extremely stressful.
I've been kind of involved
Yes.
since January. or February.
It's been going on for over a year.
Yeah, it was winter.
Yes. I mean, I've lost time from work due to the stress level, medical issues due to stress because of this. I mean, I purchased a home and the next thing I know, he's building a 2-story barn.
Yeah, some of the issue is does it fit in with the character of the neighborhood? That's what's come up. And clearly that structure does.
And it's not even in unison with the rest of the barns that are even in that area. And I also still question whether or not he has the property acreage. But so I was just wondering where the status is of that.
Yeah, one question we did have, we asked him to do a survey. Did he ever come up with that survey, Joe? Okay, so that's still an open item. And that's something we can pursue this week.
Yeah.
And you know, part of the comprehensive plan says is, you know, fitting in with the character of our rural lake district.
Mhm.
Clearly might not. Yes, Ms. Singer.
And I just want to get from the ZBA's part of it, and I don't know how much of the documents, these are all the documents that we have gone through since this has been going on. Of stuff back and forth from their attorney, our attorney, your attorney, the courts and everything else. The ZBA over a year ago, and it's in our minutes, asked him for the survey. After his permit was revoked, applied for a new permit, which would have then triggered site plan review because the square footage was over. At that meeting, he agreed to do all that. And then never did, and that's when you got served, and we even got served. I mean, we're actually named in the Article 78. Both Christie and I independently are named in it.
Which normally doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't normally happen. There really is no binding thing for us to be named except for basically, as far as I'm concerned, for her and I to be harassed.
Have to pay for legal fees.
And, you know,
Mhm.
yeah, you think your legal fees, we've got them too.
Mhm.
So, I mean, a lot of this stuff was requested of him. He's been using it. Even though he says he's not, he's been using it. I've got a video of them playing ping pong and having a party up there. You can hear them, you can see them on the second floor. He has no CFC. He has no permit that even makes it legal. I mean, according to our code, he could be charged a fine for every day that he has used that without a permit and stuff. I just, you know, at this point in time, he put 10-foot sidewalls on that, not 8s, 10s. So even if it has the lowest pitch roof it could have so that there's no use of that second floor, it's still gonna tower above everything else along that lakefront, along that road. So, but like I say, I mean, if you go through the, you know, some of the documents in the.
Is there any way to get a one sheet of all that? Like just bullet points?
I believe in one of our letters we do, so
Yeah.
I can pull it out and get it to you,
Yeah, that'd be great.
cause I
That'd be
mean,
great.
like I said, this is all.
Yeah.
How much would you like?
I love one sheets. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you. Thank you.
Can try and get that for you then.
and I think we can set that back up there.
Thank you. My pleasure. Anything else on that privilege of the floor?
No, I just, you know, if we can just be, you know, kind of kept informed also as to
Oh,
where
absolutely.
things are going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Well, I pretty much spoke about communications. The other item is I am initiating actions with the Ontario County Department of Sustainability, and they can support us up to $5,000 a year. And they're going to be supporting us on 3 different initiatives, and I can go into detail at a future meeting. Once those start to happen. Reports. Town clerk.
Paying to the supervisor for the general fund, $1,241.26 to the supervisor for water billing, $12,872.90. Decals, $3,426.44, and animal population control fund, $17, for a total disbursement of $17,557.60. And I also submitted a check for $3,000 that's been deposited into your account. That's from the interest and penalties during tax collection, which leaves approximately $12 in the two accounts, so they don't get closed out, and you'll get the extra $12 in December.
Excellent. We like keeping those accounts open. Thank you.
That's all I have.
I'll make a motion to approve her report.
Second,
Those in favor?
Aye.
That carries. I motion, Terry seconded. Eileen?
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Historian, I have a report from Denise. She did a little research on some genealogy. She did have pneumonia and was in the hospital, and she's home today, but she just wanted to say, she wanted to be here, but she wanted just a little more rest. But she's doing a great job as deputy, and she will be our historian come January 1st, and she'll be here at a meeting so you can meet her. And CEO.
We issued 10 permits in August. We didn't issue any short-term rental permits, but I am down to only 3 left over for review from Steve's file. And I know there's a few out there that still haven't come get us yet.
Thanks.
Yeah, 1 order to remedy, 2 violation letters. And that's it.
Okay, thank you.
So why the 3 holdovers from a year ago?
I've been chasing, when I started, I had a pile of, I think, 16 or
I know you did.
so I've been chasing, scheduling, because a lot of them are out of town, don't live here, so scheduling is kind of tough. And I'm only here 2 days a week.
Okay. Okay, and the other thing that I find curious is the renewals last year, we had 43 year to date. And there's very few coming in this year. Have all those like built their, whatever they wanted to build and they're done?
Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah, I'm not one to, leave a permit open for, 10 years.
Thank
The
you.
last 5 code enforcers in my, research and their paperwork will leave something for a long period of time, and then some they just have to keep renewing it every year. You don't know what's out there. There's never been an inspection, so according to our code, I'm allowed to go out and inspect. So once I mention that to the resident, they usually come and do a final inspection, close it up.
The improvement is obvious. Thank you.
Another great hire. Thank you. Planning board, Ted Maley.
All right, the planning board met on August 28th. The only action we had was, as I've already mentioned, was reviewing the short-term rental code update that had been recommended by the attorney. We went over it, everyone agreed, and we, by motion, approved it to be submitted to you. And that's all we had. I do want to mention that one of our members, Caitlin McCumsky, and her job is giving a presentation at Muller Station, September 27th, I think 7 or 7:30 on recycling and waste management, if anybody's interested. And that's all.
And it's free.
It's free. It's free.
And you might win something, right, Ted?
Great. Yes, they are going to give some prizes. I don't recall the details. Did you
One
put
of
that
the-
on the website?
It's on the website. Oh my goodness, haven't you checked it out? It's on the website and it's on all 3 signboards, and it's a composting kit that they're giving away, and you have to be present to win it.
And we've sold out of those composting kits every year. We had 3 rounds of them this year, and next year. Candidates is gonna get first dibs on the composting kit, so it's your chance to see it.
I have one in my yard.
You-
Throw it out.
We don't.
Throw it in the woods.
Well,
bear get it.
I feed the other animals, I recycle.
moving right along, highways, no report from, anything else, Ted?
Oh, that's all. Thank
Excellent.
you.
ZBA, no report, highway superintendent got a great report, Jeremy.
Alrighty, so our Tibbles Road project is complete. Making all of our road projects for the summer complete,
Right.
short of center line striping. Which has all been submitted and I am just waiting for the contractor to be back in Ontario County.
Excellent.
A lot of this is us trading services, obviously, to complete our stuff, Richmond, Naples.
Yep.
West Bloomfield, they all played a big part in helping us do our work, and in turn, we've helped them with all their projects.
Love it.
WQAP Fleximat, so we are, I would say 98% done with that. I still need to hydro seed the 3 areas that we did this summer. The hydro seeder, the county's hydro seeder is currently broke down. It is supposed to be up and running this week. The materials are all bought and paid for. And also I was informed by Megan and that we have to erect some sort of sign stating that this project was paid for by the New York State DEC. So they are going to work on getting us the signs and we'll have to install them.
Oh, good, they're gonna pay for the post too?
We'll see if we can include that in our reimbursements, yes.
Yeah, no, but they should pay for if they want us to
Yeah.
do the sign, they can pay for the
Yeah.
post, we'll install it, how's that?
So they are very thrilled with the project. If any of you are on Facebook, Ontario County Soil and Water has a little video montage that they put together of the whole construction process. It's pretty cool. And they're actually going to make a YouTube video with all the video that they took of us and try and use that to help spark interest in some of these other towns, because right now, in order for us to keep obtaining that WQIP grant, we need to take it up another notch. They won't just keep giving us the same projects over and over again unless we get some other towns to join in.
They should be able to speak at a regional conference on that, has she thought about taking that show on the road?
I don't know.
Okay. So I wanna follow up with that at some point, that's a good one.
All right, so we also, while we're working on Jersey Hill, we also had to address, a stabilization issue. About halfway up in front of Will Ingrich's house where one of those, sections of Jersey barriers are, there's a series of stack blocks that were built back when Bruce was in office. The bank sloughed off in the middle of winter. So anyways, there was water trapped behind them. And it was starting to push the blocks down, so we had to disassemble about half of that wall. And reconstruct it and then install some drain tile so we can get that water that's trapped out from behind it out and dissipate out in front of it. There are also some other issues at the top of Jersey Hill Road that we are going to have to address in the very near future.
Can I just add something on that one? So I had Chris Day come out from the county and he identified 7 spots. And so we're gonna get some support from the county. He could spend up to $5,000 of his time
Right.
before the year's over.
Yeah, and while Megan and Katie were out, I did take them up and look at the one that's of concern to us anyways. And they said it would qualify for a WQIP grant. And it would be a pretty substantial project ranging in, $500,000 range.
This is at the top of
The
Jersey
top of
Hill.
Jersey Hill, yep.
What's going on?
Lose the road if we don't do something.
Okay.
so yeah, there's a cross culvert that comes across 37 right there, and it's hitting the opposite bank, coming across, and it's starting to undermine the bank that's running along
Okay.
Jersey Hill, material sloughing down. It was already addressed. The only information I could find was back in 1990. You know, from a bunch of meeting minutes that I found in the office, there was a issue that I don't know what was ever done. There was engineering involved, and at some point, somebody had done some sort of fix to this, but
They
it's,
actually moved the road over a little bit.
that's what the talk was in the
Okay.
meeting minutes. Whether that actually happened
Yeah,
or
it
not,
did.
I have no.
It did
Information.
happen, but they didn't.
Not enough.
Right, well, what the problem was, is the owner of that land at that time wanted an astronomical amount of money to give enough land to be able to move it over where we really wanted to move it to.
Did we look at eminent domain back then?
I wasn't supervisor then, I just was coming to meetings and was aware of it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so that's where the problem was, is getting the land to be able, they really wanted to move it a lot farther than they did, but they pretty much stayed in what was the right of way and stuff, and
Yeah.
only moved it
Yeah.
some and then shorted up some, that wasn't enough.
It's scary. I drive up and down that a lot. I just, every time in the winter, I go, well, would not take much.
Right.
That's a.
We tuned up the dirt road up on Candice Hill Road, had Town of Springwater bring their grader up. And it's kind of funny because all of my guys were off helping another town and all of his guys were off helping another town. So he operates the grader and I ran the roller. So it was the boss show up there.
Did you get a video? Oh, you didn't. I could have done it.
So our grader, first week of October is what I'm being told now, but I don't know. I don't believe what I'm being told anymore because it was originally May and then it was June, then July, so.
It'll be April again, so.
Yeah. So we've started running around this section of town with the shoulder machine, taking care of everybody who's in the agreements shoulders. We've done ours already. We were in Richmond last week. They did a little bit of Richmond this morning and then also West Bloomfield this morning. So that just leaves East Bloomfield and Bristol. And we've been assisting them along with that. Roadside mowing, we're just about complete with the second pass. He's down at the far end of 36, got to make his way north and then make it up Jersey Hill Road, and the second pass is done. We'll change heads on the boom mower to the brush head where we can mow with that, but then we can also trim some of the overhanging branches that have seemed to grown pretty good this year while rushing up or autumn olive and whatnot that's hanging out over the road. While Rustin was here today, we had them do a little work for us over next door. Try and create a storage area all the way out back where we can store our chipping stones. So there's a hard surface that we store it on, so when we're loading trucks, we're not digging down into the material that's underneath it and contaminating it. Because right now we've been storing it right out in front of the barns. And it needs to get moved every year before winter time because obviously I can't leave that there, so. Took advantage of them being here with the paver. So the new F-250 came in last week. The guys have changed the lights and the fuel tank and all that over. So the 2019 F-250, we discussed passing that down for code enforcer, assessor, town hall use. I don't know if we need to address some sort of handing over from highway department to town hall as far as the financial aspects of it. You know, who's gonna pay for the gas, who's gonna pay for maintenance, that sort of thing. The F-550 is also been delivered to MDI in Auburn. They are 6 weeks out before they'll even get the chance to look at it, to start installing the snowplow equipment and the dump body. I did include some two proposals for financing for that F-550. The interest rates are locked in here for the next month or so, and they are
Did he fix that one?
definitely
where he
not
had
gonna
the
go
used-
down, so.
Did he fix that one item where he had it as a
Yep.
used? Okay,
Yep. Yeah, he changed that to new
Okay.
equipment,
okay, thank you.
so. I'm recommending that we go with the real lease company. Cause it's a lower interest rate, cheaper payments.
It's amazing that,
So I don't know if we need to pass, if we need a resolution for that, or
we could vote on it.
I give them a,
I don't wanna lose the interest rates, we should probably
yeah,
Lock it in.
lock it in,
and that's all I got.
Those in favor of the real lease, I'll make a motion to accept that proposal.
I'll second it.
Those in favor?
Aye.
You get that, Eileen?
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, Jeremy, you get your work done early, because I was at another town today and they're fighting to get stuff done late in the year.
Start early, you get it done early. And now we can do all of our prep for next year, so we can start early next year.
No, I applaud you for doing it. That way.
Right. You know, it's a fine line between getting our work done and helping the other towns, so.
Yep, yep. Oh, thanks again. Nice report. Derek? Anyway, Lake Watershed Task Force Liaison.
So Jeremy, thanks again for helping Tom Flag. We moved those shale bars out of the outlet creek. That occurred in very late July. And I knew it occurred. I knew it was gonna happen,
We talked.
but I checked the lake level twice a day. I checked it one Friday morning and it was down an inch. I said, okay. So it took 2 weeks for the lake to get to the weir level. But over the last month, it's been nice and steady right at or slightly below weir level. So that is working. Thanks again. I'm gonna be guarded, but I'm gonna say it this way. The DEC's elm treatment pilot last November, up through most of July, the lake was in better shape than it typically is. But starting in late July, particularly August and the first 2 weeks of September, have been very typical to slightly more intense harmful algae blooms, which is not what our expectation was. Chris knows this. We've been to this before. So we did this in 2006 and finished it in 2007, an elm treatment. 2007 and 2008 were absolutely the best
Gorgeous.
years in the last 20, period. So all I'm gonna say at this point is it's not meeting our expectations. We do not know why. We will not have all our water quality lab data until late October. And then I'll work with our limnology PhD mentors to evaluate it. But the DEC paid almost $2 million for this. And I'm not seeing,
What you expected.
I'm not seeing what I expect.
Yeah.
Now, my only other comment. Limnology is the branch of science. It's a study of inland waters. When Dorothy and I took limnology, our professor said, this is talking about limnology, the study of inland waters. It's not rocket science, it's more complex. It's not rocket science, it's more complex. So this is physical, like wind, temperature, chemical, like phosphorus, nitrogen, biology like zebra mussels and aquatic vegetation. All this stuff interacts. So it's not easy to figure out what happened, but it's not meeting our expectation
So when's the last time they did a sample?
today.
Okay, DEC?
Hmm?
DEC, so they're getting data.
Terry does.
Okay,
The
are you
DEC
giving
the
them?
DEC has decided to rely on Terry's sampling.
Okay, okay.
Did they make any adjustments to what the chemical is that they're using for the treatment from when it was done
No.
before?
No,
Okay,
I don't want to speculate.
Supposedly they laid a
Just
finer
sec-
layer.
Just a second, Chris is baiting me,
I'm sorry.
but there is some significant differences. We did an elm treatment in September.
okay,
Water temperature was 74, 75 degrees Fahrenheit. They did a DEC and they did an elm treatment in November. Water temperature was around 50 degrees. Like 20 to 25 degrees Fahrenheit colder. This is a chemical process. So the aluminum sulfate has to go to the bottom and it has to bind with the phosphorus. It's a chemical process.
Right.
And sometimes chemical processes can be affected by temperature. Two, unfortunately, we had the remnants of a hurricane come right through in the middle of the application. We did. We did. So we had higher wind than I would normally expect, and we had more rainfall. The DEC did a surface application. You can see the barge going along, you can see the white milky aluminum sulfate trailing behind. And then you can see it moving.
Oh,
so did land where,
In 2006 and 7, just for everybody's knowing, we did an elm application 6 feet below the
below
surface.
surface.
I'm not gonna speculate,
Right,
but I'm saying there are differences that we have to get to the bottom of.
sure.
So we're on it, but I don't have any answers.
$2 million, you'd think we'd have experts. Just blows my mind.
Well,
well, they do, those experts are-
this is gonna
Like
be,
like the FEMA experts I met 2 weeks ago.
the
I won't
DEC
take that bait. I won't take that bait, but,
Thank you.
The Betsy Landry's harvesting season ended on Thursday, August 28th. She tells me that the month of July, there was very little to harvest because the lake was still very high. Water level. August, there was a lot. Her new crew worked out good. She asked me to thank all of you for supporting the program. She said it wouldn't have been possible to get it fully staffed without the town of Canada itself. So all was well. Her new team, I think all but one member was new, worked well. She got
Met them all, they're all
compliments,
good, they're all good.
and she was very grateful for the town of Canada's support. And that's my update.
We got another one who wants to do it next year, but we couldn't hire him because he was 15 years old, and I know the kid and he'll be good. Yeah, I couldn't hire him because he was only 15.
I'm done.
All right. Thank you. You got the assessor report, one update since this was written. The last item, the small claims case was settled on the 7th of September. So we don't have to worry about that. And that's our assessor report. And water district operations.
So August of last year. Was. Actually, 140, let's call it 150,000 gallons higher. So, you know, obviously they have adjusted the flush that has to happen at the
And
end of the lake. Other than that, there is nothing to report this month.
excellent,
Yeah, very normal month.
excellent. Supervisor submitted a financial report. All's good in the neighborhood?
I make a motion to approve the supervisor's financial report.
And I need a second.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
I abstain. That carries. Thank you. Unfinished business, the sidewalks are completed. There's just one small area to meet code and that triangle will be done. The day of service is still being planned. I'll be in Honeyway tomorrow working on that at the school. I had some folks come out that are the experts for cemetery service. They do the church right around the corner. They declined the work because it would be tough for them to get to and from with their equipment to the site. So I've got to back up and reload and see if I can get someone else to do some of those necessary items of the headstones that are in disrepair, the ones that are falling, the ones that are gonna fall. And if you haven't been out there, please, someone go out there and tell me what you think. I'd love input.
They didn't have any suggestion of anybody else that could be contacted?
That is correct.
Wow.
Yep, I could give you a picture of the text. I didn't get a letter, I got a text. Doing so much by phone and text these days, but I will save that text, but it's hard to take a picture of text. Yep, but I do know a company that does monuments in Victor, Haskell
Mhm.
Monuments on 96, and I'll reach out to her. She actually lives on the lake in Richmond. So I know who she is. That's a longtime family business, but they're also aging, so they have a hard time getting younger people to do the work too.
Town of Canandaigua, I don't remember who they use, but they've got someone because they maintain about 5 or 6 cemeteries.
Ooh, talk to
And I
Jerry.
know they, talk to over there as to who they have work on repairing their.
I'm glad you're
headstones and
here.
stuff.
Canandaigua.
Yeah. Yeah, I maintain 6 or 8 cemeteries.
Yeah, he's
They
out of,
every year they work on so many headstones to work on them.
right, so Snyder, he happened to work at the church. But he's out in Danville, so I think he was pretty forthcoming with, I don't know anybody. Canandaigua town. Thank you. Just have to write that down. Of course, that'll be in the minutes, but it's good to know. I mean, write down my notes, scribble. Okay, I'll move to set a public hearing for the town special assessment role for Water District 1 capital improvement cost. I need a second.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion for the budget transfers for ARPA for our sidewalk upgrade.
I'll second.
Kate second, those in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna block the authorization for snow contracts for Ontario County and the second one to do that little bit of County 36 for the town of Naples and Livingston County.
Do you want to do it, Jeremy, still?
Do I want to, or will I? We will continue to help the county with that. In the hopes that when Bill Wright retires maybe next year, that things might change and Naples will take it.
It's off the record.
And I noticed there's no change in
Correct.
the cost.
Yeah, because the gas was the fuel went up and then it went down, so it stabilized, so everybody felt pretty good with that. And we
Okay.
spent some time on that in committee. I'm on
Okay.
the Public Works Committee.
Yeah, the fuel price is pretty much the same, the salt price. Pretty much the same,
Thanks for that input too.
different vendor, but other than that, pretty much the same.
Okay.
New vendor. Cargill.
And I need a second.
I'll second.
I'm sorry,
Those in-
who did the motion?
I did, and I
Okay,
made a
then-
block.
I know you made a block, but okay, I got it.
I think the Bills got the ball, they're driving.
Okay.
Those in favor,
Aye.
Aye.
that carries. The town hall paving project's going really well. It's gonna drain good. I'm just excited. We looked at our maps, so we should be in code for our handicap. And our active handicap signs are gonna be coming in.
Signs got ordered today. So I might see them at the end of the week. The line stripers, I suggested to the project manager from Ruston that Friday would be a good day for them to come, seeing that nobody is here.
I will not come in on Friday.
And he was gonna pass that on to them, but it is based on what their schedule is, so.
Oh, they could do it on Sunday. I won't be here either. I'll be at the Bills. game.
We did
Yeah.
run into one little issue right out there by the utility pole. Because of all the rain we had over the weekend, it was really wet in the base material. When the paver drove over it, he sunk, and it's there's a pretty good sized wet spot right there right now that they paved over. So we're gonna keep our eye on it, and Rustin's aware of this, and they will come back and fix it.
So where exactly is that?
Right out front here in front of the courthouse, right where the utility pole is.
I can't visualize where that is. So towards where those three are that are the furthest west?
Yep,
Over that area?
yep.
Okay. All right, you know where it is. Are they marking that all or
Oh, yeah,
you can
they
see?
dug it out and then refilled it back in.
Okay, it looks
So
like
it's,
it's a
you can,
patch.
yeah.
Did it blend good or?
No,
Oh, God. Great. Could they seal it or can we do anything more with that?
well, when we chip seal it next year, obviously it'll all disappear, so. But
Doesn't
we're
make
gonna
sense.
keep our eye on it here for the next 2 weeks.
Does it make sense to
and
do
then
anything
they're gonna
before
come.
winter?
They're gonna, yeah, they're gonna come back in 2 weeks and, myself and the project manager are gonna revisit that, and if it needs to get dug out and fixed, it'll get dug out and fixed.
Okay, thank you for that. And thanks you for taking be our project manager on that. On the sidewalk and the paving. You're an asset to the town. I appreciate it, Jeremy. Really do. Should we clap? No, we don't clap that much. Very serious about that. Thank you. Okay, and Kate did a good job getting some gutter replacements, including our nice leaf guards. We can take a look at that.
Yeah, we've
The
got two,
necessary item.
yeah, we've got two quotes and I did come up Saturday. I neglected to take pictures. The courthouse and the back are both leaking like sieves.
Oh, yes.
BK Ward can do a 6-inch white gutter with downspouts. He was recommending to not use leaf protection and to clean the gutters twice a year. JMM Roofing came in with a 6-inch white seamless with downspouts. We're also gonna direct the water away from the building in the back with extenders. He's recommending a leaf relief gutter guard system for, I think, a reasonable additional cost. It would take approximately 3 years for us to, if we do cleanings twice a year, for us to recover the cost of the gutter guard. I asked him if he has had any problems with things sticking in the gutter guard. It's a pretty impressive plastic mesh. He said that he's been using the system for 7 years and has yet to have a callback. And then Lowe's, very nice lady that was gonna hook me up with a person to do the quote. They do not have installers, and so they declined to quote the service. My recommendation is JMM with the leaf guards.
Everything I've heard and everything I've seen is excellent for JMM. I like that proposal much better.
I second it.
Works for me.
Okay,
I will get you the contracts.
we're all in favor of that. So we're all in favor of awarding it to JMM and they
Okay,
can
so,
get started on this pronto.
okay, so who motioned in second to accept JMM?
I made a motion to accept JMM.
Okay,
Terry second. And we all support it, unanimous.
thank you. And
so
just
does
one
John.
other.
John, thank you for your support.
One other point that you might want to think about, and you wouldn't necessarily have known it. I noticed it because I've been parking over in the historian's old driveway. There's things growing out of the gutter on the east side of the garage. And I think the plan all along was definitely to keep the garage no matter what happens to the house. So,
Look at that.
We've been
Yeah.
working on trimming the trees back a little.
Well, there's one growing in the gutter if you want it.
Yeah, well, the guy, I subcontracted that out.
Just FYI, that's all.
All right, thank you. Hardly go over there. I've been over there in a week and a half. Okay, thank you.
All right,
You can put that in the minutes if you want.
I'm gonna run over and measure it and then call Josh and talk to him, okay?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yep, you can follow,
Okay.
I'll be in tomorrow afternoon.
I won't.
Well.
I have work tomorrow.
Oh. Well, I'll be at school. Anyways, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, moving right along. Motion to adjourn. Oh, let's see. I did, Chris Day, the head engineer for the county, did come over and he's gonna give us a proposal on some of those 7 areas that we've got on Jersey Hill Road, and he might be working on some other things for us as well. We can get $5,000 in support from the county from that department as well, and I'd like to tap into those resources whenever we can. And he's a great guy to work with, love the guy. Let's see. With the town of Richmond, we're looking at launching a waste study and a community education with the town of Richmond. It's too bad Janelle wasn't here because she'd be a part of that as well. So in concert with the school and the library and the 2 towns, just to get people to think a little bit more. I can go into just about any trash can and see recyclables every day, every trash can I look at.
Not mine.
Not mine.
Okay, if you want, you could bring in a can because we're gonna have a waste assessment company come in here. Want them to analyze, and that's what they do. Very serious.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be amazed at what they come up with. That's what the professionals do. And it won't cost us a nickel. Initially, we pay for it. The county will reimburse us. And it also goes towards our Clean Smart and Clean Energy Community endeavor to get bronze certification. Got a town budget draft. Motion for approval of the bills.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
I'll second.
Those in favor? All right, that carries. I didn't think we could do this. We have an executive session, by the way. So, I have things, but I'm gonna save them for the budget workshop.
I have one question.
Oh, go wait,
Okay.
I did have something for Ted.
Okay, and my question is to Ted. The solar permit code that's gotta be reviewed, is that,
Nothing's happened on that.
okay? Okay, great.
And again, that's what we call the low hanging fruit as far as that. So at some point, if that could get addressed in concert with CEO.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is there's $5,000 in county money available to help us with our comprehensive plan. I know Linda Phillips kind of pushed back saying, I don't have time, but if I might go back to Tom Harvey and say, hey, I want some of that 5,000. Is that
We're aware of that. you know,
that Linda
but-
said? So
Well, Linda has helped. She's given us some time already. I don't-
she has, okay,
Yes, she has,
okay,
but we haven't formalized anything.
okay.
We're still formation.
So
stage.
how it works is December 31st, it starts all over again. So as much as we can utilize the next few months,
Correct.
just so you're aware,
Yeah, we are.
5,000, you got it. Okay, thank you. That's it. Motion to adjourn. Oh, motion to move into executive session. I'll make that motion to move into executive session.
Let's do.
We wanna watch the football game.
We can put, do you mind if we put it off for a month, Chris?
Second, did I hear a second?
Go on, get-
Hello?
Oh, thank you. I didn't think you were gonna do that. I thought you were gonna walk out with it.
No,
See my picture?
I did.
Hello, I
was
need a
paying attention.
second. Hello?
Second,
Thanks for
So I
coming.
need a motion and a
Thanks for coming, Carol.
second.
Thank you for staying so long, Mr. Rubio.
Christopher did the motion, Mark did the second.
And the reason for going into executive session?
To discuss ongoing litigation and personnel matters
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Eileen.
Bye.
and turn our mic